No worries. So we are starting the session, and first of all, I would like to say thank you for all the people who are present here. Also, would like to thank main guest speaker or guest chief guest for today's session, Sri Natubhai Patel, and all the other subject experts and the successful entrepreneurs who are joining with us in this interactive session. It's not a just plain webinar where just I am talking and you are listening, but we try to make it more and more interactive so that you can get some practical advice from out of it. So I would like to thank Sri Antubai Patel as well as the other panelists, Ms. Arpita Doshi, Mr. Anand Parikh, as well as Shruti Kushwa, who are joining with us today to have this interactive session on idea to IP to market. Welcome, sir.
Welcome, Sanjay bhai.
Yes, thank you very much, sir, for being on time, or before time, I must say.
Yeah, I am before.
So, once again, I would like to welcome you all people here who are gathered. And the main purpose for today's session is to celebrate three different occasions. First is the World Intellectual Property Day, that is World IP Day, as today, 26 April. Second is the Excel on IPs, also second anniversary today, that is 26 April on the same day. And to celebrate both this occasion, we have conducted this interactive session to spread the awareness about this subject, that is intellectual property rights. So before we start the session, I would like to start with the prayer that Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschita Dukha Bhagaveta. This prayer is for all the people who are suffering current situation, pandemic situation, as well as all the people who are fighting without any fears, like medical practitioners, health practitioners, the doctors, the pharmacists, each and every person who are involved in this treatment and the facilitating or helping the patients. This prayer is for all of them. So World IP Day, why this World IP Day is celebrated and why on this particular day? This April 26 is the day they have selected because on this particular day, the World IP organization, that is WIPO, came into the existence. The WIPO convention came into force on 26 April. And from 2000 onwards, the WIPO member state has decided to celebrate this date as a World IP Day. And every year they are coming up with a new theme for a celebration, which is directly or indirectly connecting with the innovations, IP, and economy. Last year they were having the theme of green future or green technology or environment friendly innovations on the products. This year they are selected theme as a IP and SME or MSME, taking your idea to market. How a SME company or MSME company can leverage their idea and bring it to the market through the use of intellectual property. Another reason for one of the part of this webinar is to accomplish my mission to sensitize at least 1 lakh people about intellectual property rights subject by 2025. This webinar is one of the part of that small part to contribute these numbers. And without wasting much time, I would now like to invite our today's chief guest, Sri Natubai Patel. And actually, sir does not require any formal introduction and is already known people to the all industrialists as well as the people who are in the Gujarat specifically. But still, as a formal introduction, I would say that sir is currently president at a GCCI as well as managing director of Big Money Organics Limited. Sir is also member of CIA National Committee on Chemical and Petrochemical, as well as trustee of various other trusts and organizations for the upliftment, social upliftment. The list is very long for introducing such a great personality, but if I want to summarize it and want to in a one word or the one sentence, sir is not a successful industrialist or entrepreneur, but is also a very humble human being, a very kind person who is always ready to help people on one or another way as per his capacity. So now, without wasting much time, I would request Sir you to address the session on this particular occasion with your own words, sir. Please.
Good afternoon to all my friends, and particularly I am thankful to Sanjay Bhai that he has organized this webinar on the very special day,
Sir,
IPR Day.
sorry to interrupt you, sir. Your voice is little bit lower, so if you can just.
Yes. Is it now I am audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So good afternoon to all my friends and especially to Sanjay Bhai for organizing such a nice webinar, which is on the very special occasion of IPR Day, World IPR Day. And the things what he has narrated that he want to sensitize more than 1 lakh people before 2025. This is the commitment from his side. And I want to give the importance of IPR today into the today's world for the intangible value as well as the tangible value. Tangible value is for the industry or for the honor, and intangible value for the professional to make them their successful life and to contribute to the society. Today, IPR is a very, very important subject, and each day when we start a day, when we think for product to manufacture or to market, first of all, we have to go through the search that this product is already somewhere, it is already patented or not, or the process is patented or not, design, process, the everything we have to search in a detail. So IPR is becoming very important, and the importance of IPR is going to increase in 21st century, and particularly in 21st century in the second decade when we are passing the digital world, and day to day the technology is going so fast. So importance of IPR is increasing in day to day. So every professional, when they do the work in R&D for the process, new process to delock the unlocking the pattern, they have to go in detail. And everybody knows, because today the forum, those are, I think, present today in this webinar is, I think, more than 100 people are already on the line, and everybody is professional and they knows the importance of this. So I am not the right person to give more suggestions, but I can give you the things that in my life this is very very important. And so I wish all good luck to all my friends who are present on this webinar. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, sir, for your enlightening word and wishing the best luck for this session. Now, before you take leave, I would just like to ask one question. Can
Yes,
you share at least any of the story that you come across or you find out in your journey, which is related to some innovation or intellectual property and which has touched your life? Sir, if
which
possible, can you just come near to mute mic because your voice is still not that much audible to other audience.
I will explain you. I think now I am audible.
Still, sir, I think the little voice is coming little less, sir.
Because I am traveling. I am going to
Okay.
Gujarat Chamber of Commerce, but now I am audible.
Okay, sir. Now it is better than earlier.
Yes. Basically, I am a scientist, and I started my career to manufacture chemical dyestuff pigments agrochemical in 1980. On those days, IPR was not important. But when we started manufacturing the product and India became a signatory for this IPR, after that also, lot of organization, particularly what you were talking for MSME and micro industries, nobody was knowing the importance of IPR. And I passed through the same thing. We marketed one product which was a combination of two fungicides. It's a part of agrochemical used in paints, and also it is used in agrochemical for the crop protection. And we searched preliminary that both carbendazim was the one of the component and another component was mancozeb, and both were very old product. So we didn't care. But some company has registered the combination of this product, and Indian government or has granted the patent. Normally, it is not the right way, but because it's an old 80 years old product and nobody grant the patent, but the company has made a story that by making the combination of these two products, it adds the value to the customer. And we were also marketing, and then we were caught by that company. And then after the legal battle, we compromised in a court and we started paying the royalty. So on each kg, we were paying the 1 rupees to that company. Similar way in the international market also, we went through such type of thing that one multinational company was market had an patent of red dyes and orange dyes, and one both the patent were expired, and we started marketing those color in that country, and we were not knowing that it was they made some change and extended the patent in Turkey. And that multinational company caught our material on customs, and it took us into the court. So these two incidents in my life, I remember the importance of IPR. Then onwards journey in my life, before we put the product in a market, we do the research in detail. So it is very important. These were the two incidents in my life, in my business life, I passed through. Sanjay bhai.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much, sir. As per my understanding, I want to summarize that initially you are also being a scientist. You started developing the API. At that time, you are not having the problem related to IPR. But when
Yes,
you have started converting it to into the formulations, some
yes,
companies already protected that combination formulations by patent by providing some data that it is creating some value addition to the customers, and that blocked your product launch. And then ultimately you have to come up with a licensing and paying the royalty if you want to manufacture that particular product, right?
yes, yes.
Yes. Okay. So thank you very much for sharing and sparing your time from your busy schedule, and really thankful for the same, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much to you and all. And wish you best of luck on this IPR day. Thank
Thank
you very
you.
much.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. So with this word, now we move on to the session. And as we told it, it's totally based on that IP Day celebration with the theme for today's IP Day is IP and SME, taking your ideas to market. Now let's start the session. Now, why SME, MSME in startup? Why everybody is talking about the SME, MSME in startup? Each country is now focusing on this, and that's the reason WIPO has also selected this particular topic, focusing onto the SME or the MSMEs. Because now currently, if you consider any country, the GDP, the employment, the resources, economy, all is majorly coming from these segments, not from the large giant, right? So that's why the now each and everyone is focusing on SME and MSE and startup economy. We have already seen this particular thing, that where earlier was this era, the agriculture era, the industrial era, information era. We were saying the data is fuel. Now current we are into the knowledge economy, knowledge era, where you can convert your knowledge, your intellectual into a revenue, and there is no any limit for that. If you have an industry or manufacturing plant, you can produce certain level of production only as per your plant capacity. But if you have an intellectual property, and if you want to convert or encash it or revenueize it, there is no sky is the limit for that. So that's why the knowledge era is there. Giant company or almost the big industry has their limitation to expand beyond. So these are the companies like SME, MSME, and startups is going to drive this economy going forward. That's why all people are talking about this. So now coming back to the topic and theme, there are so many people coming to us and talking around. If you have also realized that many people are saying that I have this idea, I have this blockbuster idea that can change whole society's life, that can change many things. I have this idea, I have that idea. Even if you consider yourself, you are also getting so many idea in a whole day, right? So this is about idea. So we are seeing this all around. Someone has thought of this solution because he himself or herself faced this problem. He identified the solution for that particular problem. Click the photo, put on social media. We all people have started looking it, liking it, giving, making it viral and all this, right? And we are doing that every day. We are getting such type of images or stories or something like that on social media. So that's a good idea. That's a solution to a problem. But what next? Are we thinking beyond that? Just by putting a liking on social media or putting some comments or forwarding to other groups and all. Are we really taking it serious and bringing it to the market? That particular person has solved his own problem, but have we thought of converting that problem solving approach or that product to an industry at market, commercializing it so that a society at a large can get a benefit out of it? No. Now take a look of these images. This is from other countries. Where the first is there is a machine where you put the plastic box or a plastic bottle and trays. Instead of money, you can put your plastic bottle. It will give you the platform ticket or metro ticket or something like that. So it is a real product. It is real existing product into the market and commercial level. The second is a cycle stand, space saving. Just you put up that stand up, lock your cycle and go. If you are not using, just put it down. It is not disturbing utilizing any additional space. The mobile charger we have seen in earlier slide. That was the solution, but can be converted into a real product so that it can be reached to the society at large. Another image we can see as parking, where they have put up the light. You can directly see that which parking slot is available. So you can directly go to that place and park your car. We have already experienced that when we are going into the mall or big complexes, we are taking 5-10 minutes to find out where the parking slot is available. We are wasting the fuels. So it is a small thing, but they have converted into a product and reached to a commercial level into the market, and which is benefiting the society at large. So what we are missing here? We all are very much intellectual, creative and all this, but still we are missing something. So what we are missing here? So if we see the roadmap of any particular idea to establish and growth, that it is start with some idea, then concept, then we do commitment, then do validate the product, minimum viable products, prototype, scale up, establish and grow and expand. Right? This is the general process of either any startups, any SME or MSME or any new industry starting new product development. So during the whole process, what we are talking or what we are focusing is team. Either I should have a co-founder or not, either I should have a partner or not, either I should go alone or not, from where I get funding, marketing, how I can do the marketing so that my product will go in a blockbuster, multitasking, cost cutting. We are mainly focusing on these things at this whole process. But the major important and critical part we are missing it here is IPR filing at particular and critical time. And because of this, we are not able to fetch certain benefits that we can get through this before you bring your idea into a market. So why this is happening? So why we are missing this? Or why we are not protecting or filing our IP at a particular stage and wait it, or not at filing at all? The first is your why is not clear. The startup or SME or MSME is not have any clarity that why they are developing this product, what's their purpose, are they doing for this charity or for revenue generation, or really they're solving some problems, what's their end goal. They do not have clarity about that why. Lack of awareness. They do not have any idea that what intellectual property is, why I should go for filing and why I should protect my intellectual property. They do not have a information or education about that subject or intellectual property. Suffering from some kind of myth that patent filing or IP filing is a very costly affair. It's a very huge cost involved. It will take so much time. और अगर मैंने पेटेंट फाइल किया तो पेटेंट ऑफिस से वो इंफॉर्मेशन लीक हो गया तो उसने कॉपी कर लिया तो so there are so many myths happening and people are suffering from this myth. And one major part is the cost. With respect to cost, also there is many myth available. People are having the myth with respect to the cost of IP filing, registration and protections. So, but it's not like that. You just need to take proper information and resources to understand how it works, what are the processes, what are different stages for IP filing, registration and protections. So to understand this, we have our first panelist, Ms. Arpita Doshi, who herself is really a big innovator and currently a founder at Nutrition Dynamic Foods LLP, having the brand of NDF. So we welcome ma'am, and we want to understand from your side. The very first thing is how you arrived to this particular idea and how you successfully converted into a successful product which is running very wonderfully into the market. Yes, ma'am, please.
Thank you so much, Sanjay, for inviting me.
Your voice is
And
not coming.
wishing you a very successful. Am I audible?
Yes, if you can speak little louder, madam.
Sure. Thank you so much for inviting me, Sanjay bhai.
Yes,
And wish you a very happy World IP Day. So what you said was right, that we think a lot. When innovation comes, it starts with a hunch and it starts with a necessity. So to answer your question, in 2009, after spending 26 days on a ventilator, my necessity was having an anti-inflammatory glass of a drink every single day as a medicine. It was not possible because when it comes to anti-inflammatory glass, you have to either be dependent on a fresh juice wala or you have to be dependent on a product. Now, the product that are there in the market, we all know that live product needs a lot of shelf life to be on the shelf. And in that scenario, there are many processes that happens, which either either it destroys their antioxidant level because they are very, very much highly sensitive. So in order to address it, there was nothing else for me to do but to innovate a product which will overcome all such challenges. So that was the planning done. It was a thing that how to protect myself, because in food and beverage industry, you can just alter few ingredients and you can throw out a product, and that would create me a huge competition, costing me more than what I would be spending on developing and stuff. So there was a time when we saw that in order to do this validation also in the market, do a test run, you need some sort of protection towards your combination. So the first step that we took was, after formulating, was to get it validate whether such products does exist in the market. And now, as we all know, that technology has developed very nicely. Like in 1980s, when Natubai just shared, at that time technology was not that well developed, and that is the reason why it costed him so much. But nowadays we have everything on a click. You can just Google it and you can find everything. So in that scenario, first thing what we did was to find out whether this such products such exist or not. If it existed, then we don't want to invest ourselves in developing another competitive product. So that was known as a pass report, which you will be very well be able to explain more better than me. So once we did that pass report and we came to know that such products does not exist, that's when we started thinking about going ahead with taking this idea to the market. So that while taking it to the market, there are many other competitive factors also involved. It's not just your competition only that you are looking, but even to your valuation. Any business can be valued only when you have got a very good valuation report. So that's when the IP had helped us. And we started it with this small step of first taking a past report, and then after analyzing that, yes, we don't have it, we started to work on our product, make it into a final product. Yet it is not final, because whatever it is right now in the market is still our pilot scale. And we, after this stability that we attained post-COVID, we are planning to launch it into a complete final stage, because we are going to go not just in India, but we were planning to go globally as well. So in order to be a global player, you got to have all sort of securities, and you should, and that's what IP gave me. It gave me a peace of mind that nobody else would be able to give me if I come out as a business, So that was the thing that I got from the IP.
Yes, definitely. So that you got idea and you have successfully converted it, and through that security that you say that you have protected it, so that it is not directly copied or taken away your efforts. So now the second thing is, I just would like to know that what was your thinking or about the IPR, that is intellectual property, before you start this, and now at this particular time, it was the same or it is Earlier it was something different, and now it has been changed.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Initially, it was just a protection. But as you know, COVID, a lot many product. Like if I give you example of one of our NDF Amrit Jera, which is comprising of all superfoods like amla, ginger, turmeric with kokum and lemon, things that have been recommended by most of the health professionals in COVID times to be consumed. Now, if I had not gotten IP over this, there are so many people right now booming out with just one turmeric, and they would be saying this is a immunity khakra or immunity something. Anything with turmeric is immunity for them. So, in order to beat all such things, and remain ourselves intact, because authenticity is what we were always having a struggle when we do a business, how you protect your authenticity. So IP gave us that peace of mind that we protected our authenticity. And as our formulation is making wonders, and it is all about formulation, every innovation is all about formulation. See, innovation is based on what existed before, but how it is making it more useful in the present time and how it gives convenience is what all innovation is about. So when we say that in our beverage premix, all you have to do is add water, but of course, we all know that these are the formulation that has always been working wonders towards any diseases. So this was where we got our added value advantage. Now we are not at all afraid whether people will be be throwing their name as immunity or anything, but we know that when they do that, we have their clutches we have all the controls in my hand that I can sue them inside the court and say that, see, you're copying my product and we have already been protected by the IP. So it was initially it was a protection, but now it has become like my tool to fight towards the world who is right now telling everything is immunity, so that's the thing that has happened now.
Okay, so now the last question, your one suggestion or the advice to the entrepreneurs or the startups or the MSME out here.
When I started, I was also a startup. In a startup, you always have resources are pitiful, you can say. It's very, very small amount that you have. But when you think in a long-term vision, with a vision, if you are thinking, you will definitely need to do a lot much planning. Initially, we were also thinking that how to compete all this expense of an IP. But today we are holding patent rights for 10 products. And in the era of just 4 years, we are holding 10 products patent right. Because my vision was to be completely Atmanirbhar. I did not want it to be more dependent on outside funds or anything. Now, to generate that revenue, this became my asset. So if you are investing in IP right now at an ideation stage, and after doing this past report search, yes, of course, you can do that so that you come to know whether your idea is viable or not. Do that validation, invest in your IP, because this investment is going to be your long-term investment. Just like you do it in your fixed deposits and stuff. When the interest rate goes down, that's when you are crying. But in IP, your interest always rate goes up. That is the only field where interest rates never gets crunched. Yeah. Because when the product becomes a successful, that's when 1 rupee royalty is like crores and crores rupees of royalty that you will be earning without doing anything in it. So I would suggest that all the startups who are planning to do a past report, get your idea validated, see if it is an innovative and disruptive, aim higher, go for an IP. You will definitely make it a successful journey, and you will not be require much more dependency on establishing fund, because you yourself will be earning that fund out of your product, IP rights. So that's my advice to all. And thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am, for your wonderful suggestions and educating them. It's not an expense, but it's an investment that you can rely on safely, right? So once again, thank you for your time, sparing and sharing your experience with us. And we wish you all the best for your NDF to make it another SME, MSME, and then coming with the IPO.
Thank you so much.
With this, we are now moving for the next session. So, as we have discussed earlier, the main concern people are face fear about is the cost. So right, people are considering that as an expense at an early stage because they are saying that okay, we are now just starting and we are not getting any revenue. We do not have any fund. Why should I invest or why should I expend on IP rather than I will put that money in my product development or my marketing or my people hiring and something like that. I can do IP later on. So that excuses people are giving just because they are considering the cost as a main factor. So now, from where you can get a money? If you are a registered MSME, under MSME there is a provision of IPR reimbursement. Whatever the expense you are doing for patent filing, either domestic as well as foreign, the reimbursement option is available. Even for the trademark registration, the reimbursement option is available if you are a registered MSME company, right? So this is the first. Second, another Gujarat government's assistance for patent registration, but I'm not very clear. I think currently it is merged with the MSME only. So, but you can check the Industrial Commissionerate office for this particular scheme also. Ministry of Electronic and Information Technology, they have a separate scheme for the patent and the intellectual property registration in the field of electronics and information technology, not only for the filing and protection, but creating a IPR seminar, awareness seminar or workshop. Also, they are providing the funding. But it is only mainly for electronics and IT related inventions and for that particular technology domain only. Apart from that, there are many other organizations like Gujcoast, BIVAC, DST, GSBTM, SSIP, Startup India. There are so many resources available from where you can get funding either as a in term of grant, subsidy or reimbursement options. So there are so many options available. So cost is not a really should not be a really concern for you for not protecting your IP at an early stage, right? As Ms. Arpita has already told that it is not an expense, but it is an investment. If you are protecting at an early stage, you can definitely take a fruit from this once you are at a certain development level. Second question people are asking from company or industry are, but how it will help me in business? Okay, I can file my patent, file my design patent or trademark and the copyright, but how it will help in my business? So let's see how it can help you to get in your business growth. The first thing is establishing a goodwill. Now, if suppose you go into the market and pick up one product and its product is mentioned that it's a patent pending or a innovative products or a design patent pending, definitely you will look that particular product and company the different respect. So it will help you to create establishing a goodwill for your product as well as for your company. So it is helping you creating a barrier. As ma'am has already told that they have protected their IP, so now they are not worrying about taking the products or taking the brand names or taking the compositions by the competitors. So through this IP, you are creating a barrier for a people or a people for your competitor to compete you into the market. If you have protected your IP in terms of patent, trademark, copyright or design, whichever is applicable for your business or product, then competitor cannot directly come up with the same name because you have already registered your brand name as well as logo with the same composition because you already have protected your composition in terms of patent with the same kind of shape because you already have your design patent. So it is creating a barrier for competitors, reducing competition the same way. If they are not able to manufacture the same product, same composition with the same name and the same design, that means ultimately you are reducing your competitions. Second thing is when you are putting that patent pending or design patent pending word on your product, on your marketing leaflet, the majority of the people who are just copycatter will not touch your product because they know that if they do copy that product, there will be some litigation in the court or there may be some legal issues will arise. So that by that way you can reduce your competitions through IP protection, you can get a premium price. All these three products are for a shampoo products, but you can see the cost: $2, $4, and $30. So it is. I'm not saying that just by filing a patent you can charge the 3 times value, but you should provide that quality. You should differentiate your product from the other competitors. You have to prove it. You have to validate it. You have to protect through IP. Then you can fetch a premium price. Definitely compared to your competitors. Though all the product is for the same purpose. Ma'am has already mentioned that valuation, it is playing a very, very critical role in terms of valuation. This is just example. This survey they have done in 1975. They have identified the 5 largest market cap company of the world in US, identify the total valuation, and then classified as a intangible assets and tangible assets valuation. So in 1975, the intangible asset valuation was near about 17%, and the tangible assets valuation was 83% something. The same study they have conducted in 2018, they have identified the 5 largest market cap company, done their total valuation, and classified it with a tangible and intangible. So at that time, the asset of intangible asset was totally reverse. It is more than 80%. More than 80% of top 5 large market cap company is because of their intangible assets and not the tangible assets. So what is this intangible asset is? It is your goodwill, it is your patent, it is your trademark, it is your copyright, it is your design, it is your trade secrets, it is your know-how. So all these things are becoming more and more critical for increasing your valuations. So that's why I'm saying that knowledge, if you are having the knowledge, intellectual, and if you are converting into a successful product, then sky is the limit for valuation. So this is the example you can correlate with that particular thing. Bargaining power. You have product, you have commercialized it, you have good response from the market, and if now you want to get associated or some company offer you for the licensing purpose, if you do not have any IP protections, you have to sit as per them, as per their terms and conditions or their offer. But on the other side, if you have your IP protections in terms of patent, trademark, design, or copyright, you can use your bargaining power. That you can say that I have protected my IP, nobody else can provide you this particular product in this particular quality because we have protected it. So this is my offer and I will do licensing only at this particular term. So you can use your bargaining power if you have your IP protection on place. Funding. In India, it's still not what you can say the authenticated or the normal way. But if you see into the foreign companies, you can mortgage your trademark, you can mortgage your patent, you can mortgage your design patent, you can mortgage your copyright certificate and take a loan from the bank. Here, if you want to take a loan, you have to mortgage your car, your office, your land, or your house. But in a near future, this will be the reality here in India also, that you can mortgage your intellectual property and take a loan from the bank. So this is another way you can take a benefit through your IP asset. So to understand one more, let's play this video about how this can help.
Looks familiar? How about this? And this? These logos look familiar because they've been looking the same on every platform for a long time now. Nobody has copied these shapes or combinations of these colors. How is this possible? Trademark is a unique symbol or word that represents your business and its products. Once you have them registered, no one can use them. If they do, you can sue them. But what can be trademarked? Letter, words, number, graphics, logo, sound mark, smell, mix of colors. There are 3 types of trademarks: Trademark shows the brand name for an unregistered trademark classified as a product. Companies that sell services, not products, have the options to use the service mark logo, but most use the TM instead for simplicity. Once a trademark or service mark is registered, you can use the R symbol. It shows that the country's authority has approved the registration. You can protect your creation from others impersonating it. It makes it easier for customers to find you, remember you, and trust you. Registered trademark can be a valuable asset as you can sell it, assign it, franchise it, or even contract it. Trademark products gain more loyalty over time. Businesses can leverage the benefits of loyal customers by introducing new products and expanding the business. Excel on IP. You create, we protect. Looks familiar?
So that video has highlighted the benefits of trademark and other part IP. So now we have another panelist, Mr. Anand Parikh, who is a founder of Seera MedTech, and he has really developed a product which is nobody can think of that it can be done and it can be commercialized in a really wonderful way, which is a small, very small thing, but making a very, very big impact into the surgery. So welcome, Mr. Anand.
Thank you, Sanjay.
Yeah. So now we would like to know, first thing is how you got this particular idea to develop this particular surgery claim, and how you successfully converted that idea into a product which is currently selling, and also as far as I know, it is also you have provided to some international organization also to conduct this effectiveness. Yes.
Right. So just for the audience, I'll give a brief introduction about what the product does and what Seera MedTech also does. So Seera MedTech basically is a medical device innovation company, and we create medical devices that help in improving how healthcare is delivered. So by making products, we try to make healthcare delivery more affordable, accessible, safer, and improve it in any possible way. So the product that Sanjay Bhai just mentioned about is called the Seera Microvascular Clamp. It is a surgical instrument that makes blood vessel surgeries easier. So currently that is a super specialized process, and it has a very steep learning curve. So to answer your question, Sanjay Bhai, I worked with an experienced surgeon. I am an engineer by education, and I worked with a surgeon to identify what are the challenges in conducting the surgery the way it is done today. And together we came up with a solution to modify the tools of the surgery so that it becomes easier for the surgeon to do the same process, or the chances of error are reduced. So that is how, with a collaborative nature, we worked and created an improved version of the blood vessel clamps, which is the Seera clamp over here. So once that product was patented, as you mentioned previously, it also serves as an asset. So we were able to, on the basis of that patent, we were able to raise funds from in the form of grants for research and development from several of the government bodies and a few private bodies as well. And with the help of that, we were able to develop a product. We also registered a company and a trademark with which we were able to sell the product. And now we are trying to see how we can leverage this IP in a better and better way. How do we form a portfolio of patents around this so that our invention remains protected and we can continue to build a brand as an innovative company.
Okay, so you have got the idea from very small thing, but it's converted into a product and which is commercialized now.
Yes.
So, as you have mentioned that you have done your patent, trademark, and all this protected, right? So during all this process of protecting and registering your patent or trademark or any other IP, what was your experience during that process? And if something you want to share with the startups over here or the MSME people over here that can benefit them, means you have faced some problem that you can find out some solution, what can be done, what cannot be done?
So, in fact, of course, the biggest problem that we would be facing, I think Arpita ji also mentioned that, was that for a very at a very initial stage, the cost of IP seems high, and over a period of time, as the business grows, it becomes more and more absorbable. So, but however, without the IP, it doesn't really. I don't know if it would work. So it is best if an innovator can try to estimate how much would their IP cost and try to raise funds for that. Either that is one way, or many of the people who are associated with universities, they also have certain, some universities offer filing of IPR, and they absorb the cost. So, of course, that would also be subject to certain negotiations of terms and conditions of usage of the IP once it is filed. But that is also one way of, taking the challenge of raising funds for IP away at the initial stage.
Okay, thank you, Anand, for having with us and sharing your knowledge and giving the guidance to the people over here. So, everyone is saying that IP, if you are avoiding at the initial stage, you have to pay a very huge amount at the later stage, because once you are miss that timeline and you are coming into the market with the product without IP protections, that may be the possibility that other people can directly copy and can speed up and come into the market before you. But if you have IP protection, you can stop that particular things to happen. So thank you once again, Anand, for being with us, and wish you all the best for the Sira MedTech. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So now we understand why time is very important in IP. It is always the first to file. So to understand, we will have. Okay. So when should I think of filing IP? This is also questions people are asking, that at what time I should start filing IP. The answer is as soon as possible. As soon as possible. Because if you identify that you want to start a company or a startup or any other product, and you identify the name, file trademark immediately. Don't wait that you will file the company or the partnership form, then you will register for the trademark. Or you start getting the business, then only you register your trademark. Immediately you identify and finalize the name, file the trademark. The same way design. Once your prototype is ready, go for a design registration. Copyright, if your work is related to some artistic, music or painting related work, go for a copyright. Though for copyright particularly, registration is not mandatory, but it is always advisable to register, so that in case in future any litigations comes, you can have your strong evidence. And last is a patent. If your product is related to some invention and innovations, in patent there is a provision, a wonderful provision of provisional applications, where you can file your initial idea or concept without any experimental details of the data. You can file your provisional application to secure your idea or a concept. Later you can get a 12 months timeline to develop your product. So the only and only answer is file your IP as early as possible once it is finalized.
Sneha and Ankit are fighting
Now
in the
this
court.
video to showcase this message. Please have a look.
Sneha and Ankit are fighting in the court. Sneha says it was her idea to make a certain machine. And Ankit says he has already made it and patented it. Who do you think wins? Ankit, obviously. Protect your invention for up to 20 years by patenting it. What can be patented? Products, processes/methods, devices, systems, compositions, uses, machines, technology, instruments/apparatus, but not for mere ideas like time machine. Patentable inventions are new and not obvious and solve a technical problem. None other than you can use it to make, sell, use, import. Add value to your business. Enhance brand image. Negotiate licensing. Fetch premium price. Increase business evaluation. Reduce competition. Patents can be licensed, sold, and they can also enjoy royalty. You have to be the first one to apply for it. Being the first to invent it doesn't count. Even if your invention is not ready yet, you can apply for a provisional application and get 12 more months to complete your invention.
So here, as I discussed, that if you have just an idea and concept, you can still file a provisional application and then later develop your product. But file a provisional application first, as early as you conceive that idea or concept. Now, another question or excuses people are giving that, but my product is not worth protecting it. It is a very small product. It is not worth to do registration of patent or a design or a trademark, something kind of things. So for that, I would just like to say that this is the product protected by a design patent. This is registered by design patent. This is protected by design patent. This is protected by design patent. This is protected by design patent. And this is protected. These are the registered design patents. Now, after seeing this, I request all of you who are into the industry or startup, just ask a simple question to yourself: that is your product is having a value or in terms of price as well as in terms of impact to someone's life is more than this products or not? If your product's MRP is more than this products or not? And second thing is your product or services creating more value, giving more value addition to the people's life or not? And then think of that. Is it still now you are thinking that it is not worth to protect any kind of IP of your product? You will get the answer. Another question is, I don't want to do manufacturing. I have idea, but I do not want to invest into the manufacturing plant and all this. So what are the options? The option that you can license your IP to someone else to manufacture it. You can sell your patent, trademark or design patent to someone else who is manufacturing. You can do the joint venture with other companies who are manufacturing, and you can take that. I can do marketing. You can do the manufacturing by licensing your IP. The same way you can collaborate with other similar kind of companies or the associations or the people where you do not have to go into the manufacturing, but still you can leverage your IP and collaborate with the others. So these are the options who are thinking that I do not want to go into the manufacturing. I have a product idea, but I do not want to manufacture. I do not want to set up a manufacturing plant. But still you can leverage it through licensing it, selling it, through joint venture or through collaboration with other companies. Now, in terms of these are the resources available: Atal Incubation Center at GTU, AIC LMCP, Atal Incubation PDPU, iHub, AIC GUSEC, as well as at IIM. All the incubation centers which can provide you all the guidance starting from idea to the commercial. And the in center, this agency, that is NRDC, it is under the Ministry of Science and Technology, Government of India. They are doing a wonderful job for doing a technology transfer. If you already have a patent or a technology which is really commercial value, they will help you to identify the people and doing technology transfer. So you can use any of these resources and explore the possibility of converting your idea to market. So now we have with us another panelist, Ms. Shruti Kushwaha. Shruti there? Hello.
Yeah, I'm here, Sanjay.
Yeah, so Shruti is the founder at Crealum Innovations, and they're doing a very wonderful job converting your idea into a very beautiful product. Convert your idea or imagination into a very beautiful product which is having aesthetic look as well as the utility for a public. So, welcome Shruti for this panel session. And first of all, we would like to know that why you started this Krillun Innovation and what exactly you are doing under this banner, Krillun Innovations.
Thank you, Sanjay bhai, for inviting me. And for all the audiences, I know it's really, really late. We are running out of the schedule. So I'll quickly wrap up. I was also a pharmacist. I was also a scientist. And then I worked as medical advisor in pharmaceuticals. Then I went to US and I started design, intersection of technology with design, and that's how we started Crealoons Innovations. I started as a first generation entrepreneur at a stage where I did not know how to do a business or how to formulate my business. So we started as a multidisciplinary solutions company where we could design and develop most of the products from lifestyle to furniture to any of the technology projects. And since a few years, almost 3 years, we are only focusing on designing and engineering of technology products. So everyone who's listening out there here, if you have an idea, let's say you today plan to design a small watch or let's say a smartwatch, and you have a small team or you have a large team, doesn't matter. But if you want an external expert to, let's say, prototype it or to validate it or to design the aesthetics of it or to test the internal machinery of it, that is where we come into the picture, and we assist companies in developing the entire concept from idea to manufacturing. You can just go on the website Crealoons and check more details on the services which we have. But I will not take much of the time. I will directly take questions also, because it's kind of being dead sessions in some time now. As Sanjay bhai told, it would be interactive, but I need more questions from the audiences so that we can answer them.
So, okay, Shruti, now the question for you is that let us know any of the story that either you experience yourself or through your client, where intellectual property has played a really vital role for the business.
Well, for most of the companies which actually come to us, IP plays a very important role. Like me and Sanjay bhai share a client. Of course, Sanjay bhai, you also know the story of insulation panel which you have been doing. So that was a company who actually defined an idea. They had a vision that what they are going to do. It's an acoustic insulation panel. If you want to know more about it, and they filed a provisional patent, okay, because they wanted to protect the entire description of it. Then they came to us for development, and that's how we worked hand in hand on how do we develop. And Sanjay bhai is taking care of protecting their IP. So it was the closest example, Sanjay bhai, which I could give, because you could also share experiences on that, and I could also share experiences.
So it is just like that. The student was having only the idea, but before they started developing and doing the prototype, they filed a provisional application so that they have secured.
Yes, correct. So it is very important. The moment you have an idea, you can file a provisional patent. It won't cost you much, as Sanjay bhai has already, included most of the pointers here. If you still have an idea, you don't know, you will be working on the idea maybe after 5 years, but an idea protection also is valid for 20 years. Am I right, Sanjay bhai?
Yes. So now,
so protect your ideas. That's what I would say.
Yes. So now next question is, what is your one advice or the suggestion to the startups or even students or MSME people who are starting for a new innovative product development?
Come to us for product developments. Don't rely on your team. We are experts.
Yeah, so product development is fine, but instead of product development,
I know. I'm just kidding. The one thing which I would love to say here is protect as much as you can, not from the patent side, also from the GI tags. If you have any GI tags related to it, if you have trademarks related to it, if you have copyrights related to it, completely protect it from most of the sides. Now we have clients who come to us and who say, I want to get I have a world patent. We have to tell them that, it is called as WIPO patent and there is nothing like world patent. World patent like this does not exist. You cannot have a protection globally. And that people would come to us and they'll say, we have global trademark. No, there is nothing like global trademark. So please use and try to learn the right jargons in IP, at least the basic ones, and you can definitely protect your innovation before you move ahead. I think you have mostly covered most of the points in JP, but yes, do the protection right before the conceiving of the idea. So that's what I would suggest.
Okay, thank you, Shruti. And yes, there is a concern that people are not having the proper information, and that's why we are saying that don't say, ask us why, what, and how to protect.
Yeah.
And thank you once again for being with us, and wish you all the best with the Krilluns in the future. So,
thank you so much.
Sorry for
thank
the
you
people,
so much for
we are
inviting me.
learning little bit over the time, but just bear with us for some more time. So what we learned today in the today's session is why IP is important, how IP can help in your business, how to manage the cost, or which are the resources you can explore to get the funding, reimbursement, or tax benefit, or something like that. How one can commercialize, what are the agencies or the resources you can use for commercializing your product. And for any other queries and this, you can come to us or explore any other expertise nearby you to get proper information for these particular things. Now, what should you do now? Just follow this circle. You do the research, invention, disclosure. Whenever you are disclosing with someone, file the IDF, assessment it, protect it through intellectual property, do your marketing, do licensing, commercialization, generate the revenue, and once again invest into the research. So this is the whole cycle you should do again and again. But you have to start with the research, invention, protecting it with proper IP, doing marketing, commercialization, generating revenue, and once again coming back or investing back for further research. So this you need to follow. So with this, I just would like to conclude this session and again want to say that don't shy, ask us why, what, and how to protect. This is Sanjay Kumar Patel from Excellon IP, and again would like to say thank you to all the panelists and mainly to the chief guest Natubhai Patel for sparing their time and sharing their valuable suggestion and experience with us. So now we are open for a question answer session, but I just request if anyone is having the question, that you put it into the chat box or raise your hand so that we can take question one by one without any chaos. If anyone is having question, that you can just put up into the chat box, or you can raise your hand. Okay, I can see Mehul Patel.
Sanjay bhai, good afternoon. I guess we met some time back, and it's delay from my side to do the patent and all those things. But good session. It encouraged me to now rethink and come back to you once again. However, I have a question on the patent side, right? The point which I would like to ask is, if I have a process in terms of, I have to file a patent for the IT product. And for that, I believe there is no limit for the hardware to integrate into any of the IT product. Am I correct? It's just integrating the various stakeholders or the processes into one platform.
Yeah, for India perspective, as per Indian patent law, the software as such is not patentable. You need to combine it with some kind of hardware, and you need to prove that through the combination of this hardware and software, you are achieving some result which is doing by first time. Nobody has done or achieved this kind of result through this combination. For other countries like US and Europe, you can even patent the plain software also. But in Indian perspective, the The plain software is not patentable. You have to combine with some kind of hardware, and you need to also prove that through this combination, whatever the result you are achieving is giving you some innovative result, which is novel as well as inventive.
Fair enough. No problem. Let's have a connect. I'll come back
Yeah,
to
no
you
problem.
on this.
Thank you.
This particular.
Mayank Pandya.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, Mayank Pandya.
Thank you, Sanjay Bhai. This is Dr. Mayank Pandya from RK University.
Yes,
and
sir.
School of Science. Probably in last 2 months, you might be have received many of application from our side. I guess more than 20 patent application. Am I audible?
Yes, yes, no.
Okay. So my question is like the difference in filing in patent in India and the outside of India, especially Europe and US, because there are many things which is not patentable in India while they can be patentable outside of the India. And second thing, what about the expenses? Like I might be wrong, but it is difficult to maintain the patent for a long in US. It costs little higher. Is it true or is it not so?
So that's why I'm saying that the very first thing you need to ask question is why. The purpose of your patent filing, right? And on the day one, you should be clear with that. You should be having your roadmap that you want to file this patent in only in India, or you want to file your patent in this particular 5 countries. If you have that clarity on day one, the process can be defined. That if suppose if you want to file only in India, there is no much concern. But if you want to file only in India and US, you should take a route of filing in India and then filing the conventional route. You can directly file into the US. But if suppose you want to file into 5 different countries, then the approach should be you first file in India, go to the PCT application, and then through PCT application you file these 5 countries. Because through this route you can save your money, you can get additional times, you can get additional search report from the PCT to take your business decisions, and it will help you. So that's why costing perspective, it will be vary depending on which country you want to file and what your strategy and all this. But there is no clear-cut answer with respect to the questions. So the main thing you need to have clarity on day one that in which countries you want to file.
Thank you.
Yeah. Ramnathan Purushottam, sir. Ramnathan, sir, please. Sir, you are mute, sir. Yes, sir. Still you are mute, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Good evening, Sanjay.
Yes, good evening, sir.
Very nice of you. You have presented the entire session very well and very educative and knowledgeable. I first express my sincere thanks to you and your team, and also the participants, the experts. And I have a question for you.
Yes.
I am an IP attorney practicing in Coimbatore, Chennai, and Bangalore. There is a case that one person filed a patent, complete patent application, and after filing the patent application, the patent grant was pending. In the meanwhile, a competitor developed the same product with some modification and he marketed it. Now, the first person, even though he filed a patent, he is unable to pursue the matter because of the slight modification the second party made to the patent filed by him. So, do you have any experience in your company to protect such patents which are in the pipeline, patent pending, design pending? In such a case, what is the kind of protection we want to guide the entrepreneurs?
Yeah, sir, if it is still under the process, not granted yet, you cannot take any legal actions. Still, someone else can file the patent also and can commercialize also. But in future, where your patent is granted, based on the scope of your patent claim, if it is overlapping with the same product which is your competitor is doing or marketing or selling, you can take a legal action and claim the damage from the back date of your publications. But if it is in the prosecution stage, you cannot take a legal action at that time. But you can try to speed up your process of prosecution, try to protect the broadest protection with respect to your patent, so that once your patent is granted, you can take action against them. Okay, now next, Santan Jodaulla, sir, please.
Sir, so good evening.
Yes, sir.
So my question is, sir, I work for a government hospital, and as a part of my research work, I have developed a drug composition for a health issue. So my question is there a possibility that I can patent the thing, or is it like as I worked it under a government institute, I don't have any rights on that?
Yeah, that totally depends on your relationship with the organization. If you are on payroll, or you need to refer the agreement you have done with the organizations. Based on that, you can define that you have a right to file a patent in your own name or not.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. So any other questions we have, or I think we have chat box. Why is patent called a negative right? Okay. So patent is called as a negative right, or you can say the exclusive. It gives you right to exclude others. It does not mandatorily give you right to commercialize your own invention, because it might be possible that doing or practicing your own invention, you might be falling with the patent of someone else. So that's why it is called a negative right. Means you can exclude others from using, selling, or importing your patented invention, and not if your invention is it is not 100% that you have patent granted, then you can fully commercialize or exploit by yourself. It's not in all case, but in some time that might be possible that when you utilize or when you commercialize your own patent, it might be possible that some of the elements may be falling under the patent of someone else. So that is the reason it is called a negative right, that your main right is to exclude others who are using your patented inventions. I hope it will clarify you.
Sir, I have another question, Dr. Shantan here.
Yes, sir.
So one more doubt is, even after granting a patent, how can we protect our patent from others who can slightly modify the same and apply for a repatent again?
Yeah,
with a little modification.
Yeah. So depending on how much modification they have done, for filing application, they can file even by doing a very minor modification. That's not a concern. But if it is a very minor modification, they will not get the grant of the patent, because during examination, your patent application will be cited as a prior art, which is already into the public domain before they have filed the patent.
Okay.
So they can file the patent, but they cannot get the patent.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay, I think Arun Kumar Singh, your question is answered already with the last answer, that if someone already have a patent, can it be patentable in some modification with process and its composition? It can be possible only and only when you can prove that, or you can prove the comparative data that by doing that change or a modification, you are able to get a product which is far, far superior from the existing product. You have to provide that there is a significant difference in your product compared to the existing product in which you have done the modification. So if you are able to prove that, then you can also get the patent. But if you are not able to prove that, then you can file the patent, but you cannot get the patent granted. Any other questions we have? Okay, so with this, I would like to conclude this session, and thank you very much for all the people who have participated in this event and to make this possible. Now, I just last request if everyone to just keep on on your video so that we can take a picture before concluding the sessions. I'm requesting everyone if you can just put on your video so that we can take a picture and then conclude the sessions. Thank you very much. Yes, so once again, thank you and wish you happy and healthy day ahead. Wish all you and your family will remain healthy in such a situation and hope you can help others to come out from this situation. Thank you again from Sanjay Kumar Patel and Excellon IP. Thank you.
Thank you, Sanjay bhai.
Thank you.